Hey, good morning, everybody. Mike O'Brien with Brighton Area Fire Authority. Today we have Pam with the Chamber of Commerce here in Brighton, who's been busy taking care of many things, but also some very difficult decisions within the chamber, but really trying their best to make sure our local businesses have a lot of resources at their fingertips. And so we want to spend a couple minutes hearing what's happening behind the scenes with Pam. So Pam, how's life in the chamber? It's a little different right now for you.
Life is extremely different. I'm the only one here presently at the chamber. I had to unfortunately lay everybody off just so that we could sustain this business here. And so I'm dealing with things that I've never had to do before and also learning new things. So it's been something. I do go home tired.
Right. And I think that's probably the hard part, right? That's your community, that's your people that are within the chamber, your staff. And so obviously, I think you get firsthand what some of our businesses are experiencing with the layoffs, right?
Right. Well, it's extremely sad and upsetting. And I'm just hoping that this ends fairly soon and that we can get our businesses back to work before it's too late for them. There are many businesses that could probably come back, if they stuck with the restrictions and were very careful, but we have to wait for the governor's mandate. But it's tough. It's extremely hard. I mean, but it's almost universal, right?
Right. Yeah, I know that, even our firefighters, we're seeing a lot of our paid on call firefighters where their primary employment's cut them down to 80% of their hours or layoffs. And
Yeah.
I think people battling with unemployment, that's definitely been a tricky thing for people to navigate. So, the chamber's been working with other area chambers on a lot of good webinars, Zoom calls, whatever we want to call them. Have you had a favorite so far that I think you learned something or brought something back to the community?
Well, I've been really pleased with the the webinar that we did on the resources. We did a couple of those with regarding the SBA grants and the loans and the payroll protection program. That was very important at that time. Now I think that we have gotten a little bit past that. I'm putting on a webinar with the SBDC on Friday, and it's regarding putting your products or your services online. And there are a lot of businesses in the downtown area that really need to do that. And they've been contacting me about that. And so I think that this will be helpful. So when I listen to what our members need, or just businesses in general, doesn't even really matter if they're members, we're just all in this together. I try to meet those needs. So tomorrow I have an after hours, which is a networking event with our ambassadors. We have about 25 ambassadors, and
Yeah.
I'm going to find out too from them what are the needs that they hear out there in the community. Because I hear certain things, and it's pretty heavy here
Yeah.
with our businesses because they're pretty desperate when they call here. And so I just want to get a general feel. And then from that point on, I can continue to go out and get those resources, because that's probably my primary goal right now, is getting those resources and trying to help our businesses raise downtown.
Now, I think a lot of people have to be wondering about our summer festivals that are within Brighton, and that's a big role the chamber plays.
Right.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but Farmers Market's coming up, and probably the start of that's going to get pushed, I would guess, a little bit. I would assume some plans are in the works at opening that up as soon as we can under the stay safe and stay home order, I would assume.
Right. Sent out all the applications, and I've been letting the people know, the farmers know, that we're going to be starting late. So I don't know if we'll start in mid-June, late June, or early July, but actually all of the produce really comes out in July. So if we
Okay.
do July through, say, October, I think that we're good there. I'm not sure right now if we're going to begin with the crafters with it, or just the food, because that's essential. So
Ah,
I am in the process of figuring that out. But the good news is that once we get up and running a little bit and business is back in order, I have a new partnership with Selcra, And
Oh,
so
wow.
Selcra is going to team up with us for the farmers market. And then with that, I have about 4 people from Selcra that are going to help. So I took the farmers market one season, and because I needed to, because the farmers market manager was ill, and working all day here, every day here at the chamber, which is a lot, and then picking that up
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
playing the piano on Sundays at my church was too much. So I'm so glad to have Selcra on board, although I
Great.
haven't
Yeah.
met with them then. But I have like a boatload of things just sitting over there, and I've got to get to it. It's just a
So
little hard right
I want to come back to the piano, but let's see. The major thing is WHAM, right? The Wine, Art, and Music Festival. That's end of July, right? So that would be the first major
now. Actually,
event.
the wine art and music is the big, yeah, I guess it's the very, very end of July. It's really the first weekend in August. So, but it just fell like that this time. So we're hoping that they lift the restrictions
Mm-hmm.
for crowd gathering. We
Yeah.
have to be really responsible too. We have to be responsible. We don't want to cause anybody to get ill. So, but we are dependent on those events. And then our Smoke and Jazz event, which is our largest in September. I don't know, you look at those pictures and people are just on top of
Crammed.
each other,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And dancing and having fun, and food is everywhere. I'm hoping for the best. As a chamber, we're extremely dependent on these events. And then we were launching a new country event down at the Mill Pond.
Yeah. Tell me about that. I saw that on the webpage. What's that going to be?
Well, that's going to be a new event that takes place just at the Mill Pond and in front of the Mill Pond. I do think we have to close off the street just for safety
Yeah.
measures.
Yeah.
So we'll put some vendors on the street if we can get them. But we're going to have bands in the Mill Pond area, and it'll be a smaller scale, but it'll be mellow with a beer and wine tent, and it'll be fun if we
That'd be
can pull
great.
it off.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've signed all these contracts, and so I mean,
uh,
we can only go so far here. All the contracts for all of these festivals have been signed.
uh,
So I'm nervous about that, but
I
I
bet.
trust. I actually feel peaceful, and I have trust in God. I draw on God for everything, and so He's carried me this long with this chamber. He's carried me through 9/11 and the recession. It's
Yep.
never been to this extent right now where I am just on my own.
Right. Right.
The only
All
one
right.
here.
So when did you become, or how long have you been working at the chamber?
I'm in my 20th year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been
It,
here for a long time.
all right.
Yeah,
So Cornerstone's your church, right, in Brighton Township? Okay. So are they doing online services? I know a lot of our churches have pivoted to, whether it's a recording or live online. Is that what they're doing? I haven't checked over there.
right. We're doing live stream, so I've been there, and I'll be there
Okay.
this Sunday. I play the piano for the choir, the orchestra, the jazz band, and all the worship. I mean, it's been really fun for me. Now we have just a few on the platform. You can only have,
Oh,
including
yeah.
us, or like 5 on the platform or whatever,
Yeah.
because we have sound people that have the sound techs. There can only be about 10 in the church at the time. So it's been different, instead of leading worship and seeing a bunch of people out there, now we're looking into a little camera and
I
smiling.
bet.
But they're out there. The people are out there. They seem to like it.
So I got to think that playing the piano is probably one of your stress relievers, even probably at home.
Yeah, you'd be surprised that I really don't play unless I have a reason. Like if
Oh,
and the church gives me a reason. It's kept me so busy, and so sometimes when you're so busy with that, you just don't even feel like playing anything else. Now I've played for some different fundraisers, and that's fun because it's different types of music. I like that. That's fun. And then I'll practice and I'll play for that. But my love is playing for the church. I
oh,
can't help myself. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Now, Your days are probably sounding a lot like mine, where they're long. They go into the early evenings, sometimes late evenings, depending on what's going on. But
Right.
what do you do? What are you doing to decompress right now at home? Are you watching any new series on Netflix or Hulu, or do you just kind of decompress with a book? Or
Well, I love watching Netflix. And so, well, I watch the news a lot too. I feel
yeah,
like, you become a little bit obsessed. I mean, plus I have to know in my job what the heck is going on with this virus,
oh
because I
yeah,
need to know when we're going back to work. And every day I wake up and I'm like so thankful I don't have the fever. But anyway, so after watching the news that often, and I mean, I should be getting the fever any time now, but thank God I have not. But I
right.
really like I like watching Netflix, so I look for things that are interesting. I love watching shows that are like foreign.
Oh, okay.
I do. So I love watching series or movies on the Hasidic Jews. I find it also
Wow.
fascinating. I watch that type of thing. But then I mean, I've watched all of the major ones. Like right now I'm watching Ozark. I
Okay.
watched Ozark in the beginning, and Ozark didn't really keep my attention that well, but then my sister said, "Oh, you have to watch Ozark." So I started again. It's totally not completely keeping my attention.
Okay.
I don't know why the Hasidic Jews keep my attention, but they do. I'm so fascinated by those other cultures.
yeah.
I like it because it's different than what how we live here.
Now, I know, especially working from home, I sometimes go to the office and I work from home just to try to keep some social distancing. I'm home today, but it's hard. Like, I find myself snacking. So when you go to get a snack, are you a sweets person or do you like savory?
I like savory. I don't go for the sweets. I don't buy the
Okay.
sweets. I used to just gobble cake down like crazy because I
Oh,
love I
yeah.
love frosting, but I haven't been in the mood for that. I like cheese, and I really I try not to eat the cheese, but I did quit meat
Oh,
about maybe
wow.
3 months ago, and so I've gone a little bit more vegetarian. Well, definitely more vegetarian. I like to cook food, so I like to make good dinners. I don't do it often, but sometimes I just treat myself with a really good dinner and a glass of wine. I like that very much. I feel special. I live by myself, so I,
Right.
I kind of have a date with myself. So better than nothing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, have you connected with family or anybody or friends at home? Like, so we've done some Zoom calls with my
Oh
parents
yeah,
and my siblings. Have you been doing that?
I have. So I'm from Chicago, so my family is all in Chicago. So my four sisters and my mother. Now my mother doesn't do Zoom. She's in one of those homes,
Okay.
and she's barricaded. But my sisters, we just did house party the
Oh,
other day.
beautiful. Yeah.
So we
Okay.
did house party, and it's different. It's different. Zoom is
Hmm.
easier, I think, than house party. But house party was good. We had fun. It's good to see my sisters. It's really kind of fun. I don't live there. I haven't lived there in so many years, but it's fun to be on those calls, and then you all sort of look alike. Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all, we're all there, and we all have the same mannerisms and the same sense of humor, and so it's fun. And then I have my kids. So I have my daughter Courtney in Colorado, and I have my identical twin boys that live here, one in Milford and one in Ann Arbor. And so we were just on a Zoom call on Easter.
Oh,
And,
wonderful.
I love those kids. Boy, oh boy.
They're and they're all staying healthy, right?
Yeah, everybody's healthy. My boys are in the medical field, so they are sometimes in the war zone
Mm.
when they're in orthopedics and spine. So if they do they do medical sales, so they're not doctors, but they're in the surgeries. So my son Miles was just at St. John's, which is, I guess, between Grosse Pointe and Detroit, but they get a lot of Detroit, and he said it was a complete war zone. So
Wow.
they're always in my boys are always in isolation until they head back in, and then they start isolation again.
Uh,
But they have beautiful families. I mean, they're just I've got the sweetest kids in the world. I love them so much.
oh, that's so cool.
How about you?
Now,
What are you
oh,
eating?
well, I was eating everything, I think, the last couple of weeks, but I've been able to keep my nutrition pretty dialed in since Easter, which what is that, 2 days now, 3 days? So yeah, everything's been going good. I've been trying to keep my best I can on my routine. So I've been trying to stay active, trying to get outside when the sun's out, soak up some of those rays, and just working out every day. If not, I just feel tense at the end of the day. So when I eat
See,
pretty
that's my
close to
problem.
normal, I know, right?
Yeah,
It,
I need to do something. If it's nice out, I go for walks and that, but then, I walk on the trails and things, but then it's so hard to breathe with those masks.
uh,
Because you
yeah,
start working up and, a sweat, it's like you're gasping in the mask, and that's
right.
worse. And then I kick my mask with all sorts of the, whatever, all that stuff that protects you. Here it is, the sanitizer. I
Yeah.
just like squirt it all over the mask, and then I'm breathing in the sanitizer, and I'm thinking, okay,
Oh
this is
boy.
probably worse than the corona.
So when this thing's all over, let's not pick favorites in the chamber area, but outside of the chamber area, where do you think you're going to go when we lift the ban and the restaurants are open? What would be a go-to restaurant that you're looking forward to?
A go-to, oh, I can't say that. I can't say that.
None? Okay. How about
I can't say that because they're all so special. And
oh,
if
they're
I
all
were
so
to
good.
choose one, I'd be in deep trouble. They would
I
all, hate me.
I think I will say this, that we have been trying our best to pick up some food for our staff on duty once in a while, and we've picked up burgers from various restaurants and dropped them off, or pizza, or whatever it is. And I think that's probably one of the normal things that we're all looking forward to, is getting back to some of those favorite restaurants, right? Whether it's
Oh, yeah.
tacos at LR Bowl, or a salad from Wooden Spoon, or even that carrot cake at Brighton Bar and Grill, or
Right.
oh man,
I mean,
Chalmichi's. Oh
I love our restaurants.
yeah.
I love the owners of the restaurants. I just love all of them, all differently, but they're so good. We're
Oh
so fortunate to have such good people that own those restaurants. And I feel so bad because now I don't know what the restrictions, how do you sit 6 feet apart? How do you have a mask on? And then I heard on the radio that today, or the TV, something like that, that they're going to now do paper plates. They have to do
mm,
paper plates. I mean, come on. We like the white tablecloths, and we like to be spoiled. And here comes
yeah.
here comes the picnic. You get the lobster or something, and then on the paper plate. So it's all an adjustment. Hopefully it kind of ends soon.
Yeah, and I think that's probably right. That's the hope, is that all of these protective measures are making a difference, and we can get the businesses back open. And I'm trying, I've been asked that question a lot. What's the future look like? And I'm going to sure, when the restaurants start to open back up, it's not going to be the same as when they closed.
No.
Right. And hopefully we get back to that situation. But I keep trying to tell as many people, just be patient, right? We've got to tackle this thing, get through it, and then our restaurants will adjust, and they'll have to modify, and all of our businesses, right, are going to modify slightly, but hopefully we can get them back open as soon as possible.
I
Yeah,
think it's going
safely.
to definitely be different. It'll be different here for the chamber. I went for the payroll protection program
Yeah.
for us to try to get our employees back. But we're 501c6, so
Mm.
I've heard different stories. Like First National Bank, they sent me the paperwork and they said yes, that they will do this for 501c6s. But then I heard Brian Kelly yesterday of SBAM say no. So if it's no, then I don't know. This is really challenging because chambers of commerce are really nonprofits, just a different type of a nonprofit, not charitable, but a nonprofit. And so we never have a surplus of money. That's why we're always going for sponsorships, always looking for new members just to stay sustainable. And so it's a challenge. I'm telling you, it's a challenge.
Yeah. So
We love
speaking of that, right, businesses and people can still join the chamber, right? And they're going to get access to a lot of these webinars. I mean, you've had some really industry experts out there right now. So a lot of tools for small business owners. So I know it can be difficult to write that check, but you're getting firsthand knowledge from some of the smartest people in the state, right?
Great.
On
Thank you
what you can be doing.
Thank you for saying that. And we'll be flexible if somebody wants to join, if they decide they want to join, and if we have pay like monthly payment options, or we can even hold off a little bit, until they're up and running in a good way for them where they feel comfortable. Then they could maybe make a monthly payment. We're flexible. We totally understand what's going on because we're going through the same thing here. So we just want to be flexible.
Yeah, and it's really, I think I've maybe come to the conclusion that the way this thing helps is it's going to take a community rallying around everything. It's going to take its businesses rallying, the citizens rallying together for our businesses to come out of this, our restaurants, our chambers, communities, everything. I mean, this is not one business is going to succeed if we don't all collectively work hard together. And I think that's probably what the chamber's trying to do is help show that community spirit, right?
Oh yeah, we always have the community spirit. We like to have fun and have community spirit. We're always very supportive. I love our members. I love what I do here, and I love our members. I just wanted to mention that we have something really good going on through the City of Brighton and the DDA, and we're going to be helping our businesses through this organization with the MEDC, Michigan Economic Development Corporation, called Patronicity, where we're going to connect our businesses with Patronicity, and they will be able to do crowdfunding, so independent crowdfunding. And then Lake Trust Credit Union is going to do a match, and they're going to do a match up to $25,000. So $20,000 will be a match with, I think it's $750 per business if they get there. And then beyond that, they're going to give 5 $1,000 gifts, I guess, donations to other businesses that really show the spirit and things like that, step up beyond. So Lake Trust has really stepped up. This is going to be launched probably the end of this week. And we have a lot of good partners with that are all working hard.
Hey, Pam, let's wrap up this interview. So thanks to Pam. We're going to put all of Pam's links to social media as well as their webpage in the links here for this video. We hope you check out the chamber. If you're a small business, take Pam up on that, what she just said with membership. I think you're going to want to be a part of that because you need to get the resources as quick as possible. And when you're talking to the folks that are really engaged in this, you're going to learn some of the best stuff as fast as possible. And this thing changes every day. So Pam, thanks so much.